Yes, sir. Welcome back to Business After Business. We are here at Zuby's Taco Kitchen right in the heart of College Park. Joining me today is none other than Andrae, aka Drae, from Bakes by Drae. What's happening, man? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Great to be here. It's great to be here.
Man, great to have you. I want to start out by basically talking about how you came up with the concept of baking. Just like what got you into the bakery business?
Well, just going back to my childhood, pretty much my mom. So usually on Sundays we go to church, then we come home. She'll make a big Sunday dinner, then all of a sudden she'll make a dessert. And one thing about her desserts were they were really good because friends would come and ask for it, family members. And I can remember sometimes even taking it to school and other students try it. And so one thing about my mom was also she baked with love. So if you ever did something for her or if you was on her mind, she'll bake you something. And that kind of like gravitated towards me. And I can remember a couple of times baking stuff for people and they really enjoyed it. I mean, that was just my way of showing gratitude and showing love. And so pretty much in a nutshell, that's pretty much how I kind of like came into it. It wasn't until 2019, 2020 that I really started to kind of like take it serious. That's when the pandemic hit. So That's pretty much how it all came together.
Now, did you have mom's recipes or you came up with your own?
So at that time, I came up with my own. Okay. So I would just pretty much, what would happen is people would kind of like tag me in certain desserts. I go online, try to figure out, the best recipe to pick, and then I'll make it. And then what I'll do is I'll just tag them, let them know that I made it. And so I really didn't start using my mom's recipes until it was something I wanted to make for somebody that she was known for. So She was known for her strawberry cake. She was known for her peach cobbler. So those were like the two staples in our family.
Okay. So now are those two staples at Bakes by Drae?
Of course, they're definitely there, and they definitely sell out. And then
what we also try, you said that peach cobbler.
Yeah. And then what we also try to do, we also try to expand those desserts. So for an example, the peach cobbler, we offer a peach cobbler pound cake.
Okay.
For her strawberry cake, we turned it into a strawberry crumble cheesecake. So what we try to do is we try to take like an original recipe and try to expand it to create different other recipes.
Gotcha. So did you start off like in terms of social media? Because you were saying that people would send you stuff and then you would in turn show them that you had done it. Was that like the beginning of like from the social media and the taking off from there?
Yeah. So basically what happened was during the pandemic, of course, when everything shut down, a lot of people had time on their hands. So basically I always wanted to bake like this Oreo cheesecake. So when I finally got around to it, I baked it and I posted it online and people were just amazed by it. So what happened is that I started baking other things and just posting it online. And next thing you know, people started reaching out to me, asking how much would I charge if I made this for them. So it basically pretty much started on social media.
Okay, that's always one of the favorite questions. How much do you charge?
Yeah. I try my best to be reasonable, but you understand when you're in business, your ultimate goal is to make a profit. So, But I definitely try to be reasonable with the prices.
Now, coming up with that price, because how many were you doing? Like, how when you first started out, like, how many desserts were you actually fixing so where you could actually kind of do the breakdown of if I make XYZ cakes, I can charge XYZ because of the products that I have?
Well, when I first started, I was just making cookies. So basically what I would do is I would make something and then I would post it online to say, hey, this is for sale, and I can meet you somewhere, or I can either meet you somewhere or meet you at your own house. But what I started realizing that when I tried to do it that way, I wasn't really making any money. I was actually losing money. So I think the best route to go, if you're going to do that, you may have to charge a little bit more than what you're used to charging, especially if you don't have a brick and mortar, or especially if you're not participating in vendor events. So at that time, we wasn't even doing any vendor events. I was just basically posting it online and telling people this is what I got for sale. And then of course, it really didn't sell like that. So basically, you know, I would just basically eat everything like crazy because I didn't want to waste it. But you know, but at the same time, it was just a good learning experience. So, and that's one thing about business is like you're constantly learning what works and what doesn't work.
Right.
If it doesn't work at this moment, it probably may work later on down the road. So I think that's just the amazing thing about business. You're always learning.
But you just said something a minute ago. Talk about the concept of possibly charging more, because a lot of times when we're dealing with straight direct to consumer, you know, and we're vending direct to consumer, people are, oh man, you can just hook me up, you know, it don't cost you, but blah blah blah. Talk about that part of it, because people will often try to compare you to big cookie company, big corporation who may only charge $4 for 12 cookies, and then come at you and like, oh man, I can go to such and such.
Well, the one thing about those big corporations, they usually have vendors or other corporations that they do business with to the point where they can charge lesser. Mm-hmm. I literally have to go to the grocery store and pay the prices that everybody else has to pay. So because of that, of course I'm gonna have to charge a little bit more because I don't have that advantage.
Right.
But the one thing about our customers and everything that every customer that I've dealt with, they've been okay with the prices, especially when you got something good. And we believe that we really got something really good. And when you have something good, people don't mind paying. Right. I mean, remember, because you got to remember, I'm a consumer myself. Like I could be down to like my last $40 for the entire week, but best believe I'm gonna go get me a good hamburger that may cost me $20 right down the street because the quality and what they have is good. And right. One thing about it is, you know, when you got something good, people don't mind spending money, and that's what we do have. That's what we got at Baked by Drae. We got everything good. So
from there, how did you come up with the name? Did you always have Baked by Drae in the pocket, or somebody came up with it?
So basically, what I did was, and I do this with everything. I pray about it and I leave it alone. So I was like, I need to come up with a name, and I just prayed about it and I left it alone. And then one day, one of my neighbors, I had made something for one of my neighbors, and I brought it to her, and she was like, "Okay, Cakes by Drae," and I was like, "No, I just don't want to do cake. I want to do a whole bunch of the whole entire aspect of baking." And then that's when it came to me, Baked by Drae, and it kind of sounded like Beats by Drae. Right. So of course, you got that little comparison. So yeah, Baked by Drae was pretty much just born right then and there.
So you start out for individuals, like you said, the next step up, you're going into catering events. How did you get into the catering space? Because I know a lot of times that's kind of like a who knows who type of basis.
Well, and that's where my business partner, aka my mom, comes in. When she seen that I started baking, she realized that it was more than just a hobby. She realized that I had a gift. And so when she seen that I had a gift, she wanted to become more involved with the business. So she pretty much handled the aspect of getting vendor opportunities and getting the catering companies and stuff like that. So it was basically my mom. Like I tried my best to stay away from that aspect of the business because my mom, she's a marketing major. Okay. She got a marketing degree from Clark Atlanta University. So I let her do. Shout out to mom. So I let her do all of that. And so basically, she would have friends reach out to her that may be having events. And then she also would get connected with certain other vendors, such as Sweet Auburn Fest. We've done Sweet Auburn Fest. We actually got done Wine Down Wednesdays. I think they actually reached out to us. So some of this stuff was just basically either her reaching out to them or them reaching out to us.
So how long you catering before you talked about getting a brick and mortar in the storefront, before you actually get a brick and mortar and say, okay, I'm doing enough business now, I feel comfortable getting my own space?
So what was crazy about it is, and this is why you need to have people around you that may see the bigger picture. I was okay with just doing vendor events, but my mom, she was like, we need a brick and mortar. Like I would have been okay doing vendor, but she was like, Drae, we need a brick and mortar. So what happened was she just started to just look and see what was around and what we could afford. And so basically how we got the spot on Harvard Avenue was nothing but God. So what happened is I usually go for walks. And when I go for a walk, I usually pass that area downtown Main Street with a lot of restaurants and stuff.
Right.
And I would think, it would be nice to have a bakery there. So one day I was at work, my mom, she called me, she was like, hey, look, we may have a spot. And lo and behold, it was the same spot that I would walk past by thinking that it would be a bakery.
Right.
So it was pretty much, nothing but God. And what happened is we actually met with the landlord. And at that time, she already had somebody that already claimed the spot. They already paid the deposit and everything. But, she had a change of heart and decided to go with us. And what's crazy about it is the person that owns that spot actually graduated class of 05 Tri-Cities with her.
That's
so shout out to Isis Warriors. So everything has been nothing but God. So I give all glory to God.
So before we go any further, give the address.
So the address is 1860 Harvard Avenue. We're open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So Friday 4 to 8, Saturday 12 to 8, Sunday 12 to 6.
Okay. So you're in the area, you're in College Park area. If you in East Point, if you're in Riverdale, swing by Bakes by Drae.
Yeah.
So what were some of the biggest challenges? Because now you're in a space and you have the bills of having the space. What were some of the biggest challenges of now I'm here in a brick and mortar? I have to. Was there any pressure put on you that you put on yourself, or did others put on you?
I mean, but I've always put pressure on myself to be the best. When it came to school, when it came to athletics, I played college baseball, D1 and D2. So I've always put pressure on myself to do good, and that's just the work ethic that my parents instilled in all of us. My older brother, my younger brother, and my younger sister. So I've always put that pressure on me to be the best. And then it's kind of like a stigmatism with black businesses, because we definitely put that pressure on ourselves to not just be the best, period, but be the best black business out there as well. So I've always put that pressure on myself, but sometimes that can also be a hindrance, because when you put pressure on yourself, you aim for perfection. So my thing was, not to aim for perfection, but to aim for consistency. And as long as you're consistent, that always will trump perfection.
Gotcha. Now you mentioned other family members. Is this a family business, or this is solely you running the show and mom kind of handling some of the outside ventures? So
my mom also is part of the baking as well. So what's funny is she actually started this business years back, but it just never took off. So basically, here we are a couple of years later. Like, what? I told her, I'll pick it up for you.
Right.
So, and one thing about my mom was she's always been supportive of everything that we've done. And so in hindsight, she thinks she's doing this for me, but I'm actually doing this for her. Because like I said, she has really good desserts, and I just want everybody to experience, her baking and her love for it. So even though she's helping me out, I'm definitely helping her out as well. So she's not only part of the, the business side, marketing and all that stuff, but she also does some baking as well. So yeah.
That's beautiful. I like to hear that type of thing. But going back to it, so we are using some of Mom's recipes now.
Yeah. We are using some of Mom's. Shout out to Mom's.
Nah, that's dope. Like I said, I love to hear that, man. And what is like some of the most, outside of working with Mom and like seeing everything come together, what's some of the most fulfilling thing to you that now that you've created Bakes by Drae, you're moving into a space, like what's something that's like you like, yes, that you're most proud of to this moment?
I think I'm just most proud of just taking that step, that leap of faith, because for a long time I was afraid of doing this, and I even told my mom I was afraid of doing this. But one thing about it is, if you're always operating in fear, you never know what you're capable of. Right. So when I really took that leap, I was doing it afraid. So that's one thing about it is, one thing that's fulfilling about me is just seeing an idea that I had in my head is now abstract. I can touch it. Right. I can feel it. I can experience it. So that's been one of the most fulfilling things. And another fulfilling thing is our customers. We have some of the most amazing customers ever. They even give us ideas on what to do. So one of the desserts that we offer is a key lime cake. So one of the customers told us, like, can you put nuts on a key lime cake? I've never thought about putting nuts on a key lime cake. So we decided to do it, and next thing you know, it became one of our top sellers. So one thing about it is, the most fulfilling thing about it is when a customer comes back and say that they enjoy their desserts. And one thing that really fulfills me is that they compare our desserts to like a family member that may be either still here or no longer there. And so you bring back some of that nostalgia of reminding them of a certain family member. And it seems like that may be like a issue today. It's like family don't come together no more.
True.
And so, when you have family that will come together, you had somebody that specialized in cooking, and then you had that one person that specialized in a certain dessert.
Right.
So one thing about our dessert, it brings back that feeling that you're with family, and that's what it's all about. We're one big family. So I think that's one of the most fulfilling things about it is, seeing, two of the most fulfilling things, like seeing your idea right in front of you, and then having customers come up and tell you that that you remind them of a family member that's either here or no longer there that used to bake something. So those are the most fulfilling things for me.
So for the future, for Bakes by Drae, is there anything in particular, a goal that you said in 26, I want to X, ...
So in 26, we want to find a bigger location. The location that we have is pretty small, but one thing about it is when we try to take advantage of that little spot that we have, we try to use every inch of that corner, but now it's getting a little too small for us. So of course, we are definitely trying to look for a bigger location. So that's one of the goals for 2026.
And then before we let you go, I want to ask, like, any advice, not even just in the space of baking, but anybody who's interested in starting a business, anybody who's thinking about it, any advice that you would give to someone to say, hey, this is what I've learned, and you would pass that on to another person.
So one thing that I would do is I would try to get with somebody that's already doing it. So when I Bakes by Drae started in 2020, I didn't get serious until 2023. In 2022 and 2023, I was working at this cookie shop called Sugar Shane's.
Okay.
And so I got to see what it took to run a business. And one thing I always say, the way you handle somebody else's business is the way you're going to handle yours. So if you're always showing up late, you're going to show up late to your business. If you're not good with customers, you're going to be the same thing with your business. So the thing is, I already had that experience because I worked in a cookie shop, and I got to see how to. I was able to interact with customers. I was able to go the extra mile. So there were times where I wouldn't even go to lunch, and that was because of me, because we had a lot of customers and we wanted to get the customers down. So you must be willing to do the extra and willing to go above and beyond. So I would recommend first is getting with somebody that already has skin in the game and learning from them. And then once you do that, then branch out on your own. And another thing too is there's not a perfect time to start. You're just gonna have to start at when you start, because for me, if I would have waited for the perfect time, Bakes by Drae would still be an imagination. It wouldn't be nothing abstract. So there's no such thing as a perfect time. Another one is don't put too much pressure on yourself. I understand, like, especially as a black business, we definitely put pressure on it, but don't put that much pressure on yourself. Don't try to strive for perfection, strive for consistency. And most importantly, make sure that you get your rest. This whole hustle culture, it'll have you thinking that you have to do all of this, and you're really burning yourself out. So make sure that you also get some rest. But most importantly, man, give yourself some grace. You're about to step into something that you've never done before. So don't try to be so hard on yourself. And that's one thing about me. I'm always hard on myself. But at the end of the day, this is something new to me. So at the end of the day, you just got to give yourself some grace. So if to piggyback, to start all over, try to find somebody that's already doing what you're doing.
Right.
Once you learn from them, branch out on your own. Don't strive for perfection, but strive for consistency.
Yes.
Get your rest. Don't burn yourself out. But most importantly, give yourself grace. I think if you do all of those, you'll definitely be successful.
Now, Bakes by Drae, if you're talking to someone and they say, I'm gonna come out there, you gotta try the what?
Everything, because I swear on there is no. You think this would be the top seller for a couple of weeks, but then next thing you know, this dessert changes. So from a pound case, I would say. So the product. So we have a lot of products. So for a pound case, we do a regular pound cake. We've done a lemon blueberry pound cake. We've done a banana pudding pound cake, a Biscoff pound cake. For our cakes, we do cheesecake, red velvet cheesecake, strawberry crumble cheesecake, a German chocolate cheesecake. We do regular red velvet. We do key lime cake. We do caramel cake. We do coconut pineapple cake. We do anything we do cookies, chocolate chip cookies, snickerdoodle cookies, peanut butter cookies. Yeah, that's my favorite thing to make right now. It's the cinnamon roll. The cinnamon rolls sell like crazy. Another new popular item that's selling like crazy, my mom's sweet potato brownies. We also do vegan options, so we got a good vegan chocolate cake, vegan chocolate chip cookies.
Sweet potato brownie.
Sweet potato brownie. That, I'm telling you right now, if you're trying to get a sweet potato brownie, you might want to try to get there early because those things sell out within about the hour. So
really?
yeah. That's probably our most popular item right now. But like I said, we do everything. Like we try not to box ourselves. We try to push the envelope on everything. So whatever you got a craving for, if we don't make it, we'll definitely try to make it. So, but I guarantee you, we'll have something for you that not only that you're gonna like, but you're gonna love, that you're gonna try to refer to other people, that you're gonna want to come back. And then also, man, we offer discounts as well. So if it's your first time, we offer a first timer discount. If you're a federal worker, we offer this for federal. We offer discounts for state employees, city employees. We offer discounts for first responders, so EMT, paramedics, police officers, military. We actually term that the hero discount because they're willing to go in while everybody else is running away.
Right.
So, you know, and that's just to show our appreciation to everybody. So, and then we also offer discounts to teachers to show our appreciation. So we have everything for everybody. We try to make sure that we don't miss anything.
So again, give the address and then give the social media on where they can follow you.
So it's 1860 Harvard Avenue. Social media based by Drae, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Also, and then you can search us up on Google. You can search us up on Yelp. We're currently on DoorDash, but because of the influx of sales, we're temporarily off of DoorDash. So we might try to get back on DoorDash. It just depends. But you can find us at those social media sites.
And then the hours, one more time.
So the hours are Friday 4 to 8, Saturday 12 to 8, Sunday 12 to 6.
Okay. So I'm getting scared. I'm just putting it in my head. You know what I'm saying? Because you named a lot of stuff that I want to try. So Drae, I appreciate you coming out.
So I got a question for you. Like, what's your favorite dessert?
I'm a peach cobbler guy.
And that's one of my mom's staples.
Yeah, that's why when you said it earlier, I was like,
you definitely gotta come and try our peach cobbler.
Yeah.
You won't be disappointed.
So there's a spot that my wife's hometown that whenever she goes home to visit, she'll always, like my mother-in-law always sends back some peach cobbler.
Yeah.
So I really haven't found a place that's held up, but I'm looking forward to coming to see. Because
hopefully we can.
I want some place that I can come local and I can come back frequently.
Yeah, so hopefully we live up to your expectations.
Yeah,
we really hope so.
But even with that, I'm a selective sweet eater. I don't indulge. I don't go in all the time. But when I go, I want to go grab something. I want to eat something pretty good, and I want some place to go local. So I'm not a fan of go to the big company or go to the grocery store, bakery, all that. I'd rather come and support you.
Yeah, and for all of the people that are trying to watch their weight in big bags, hey, look, you can still lose weight and still enjoy your desserts here and there. So please, hey, stop by. Don't worry about it. Hey, just work a little bit harder in the gym. I was
I just got to sweat a little bit more, man.
Yeah.
But again, I appreciate it.
Man, this has been fun, man.
look for me. Probably this weekend. Shoot.
We'd love to have you.
Yeah. So
And since it's your first time, you get a first timer discount.
hey, I appreciate that too.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So again, Bakes by Drae, Harvard Avenue.
Yes, sir.
I'm coming through, but you can come through here at Zuby's Taco Kitchen for business after business. I'm Commissioner Gordon. We'll be here waiting on you.
Yeah.